What is happening, guys? Danny Feng here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you guys can simulate the Cinestill 800T film stock look. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So basically, this is the template that I created. It's a pretty straightforward template. And basically, I wanted to create a really simple drag and drop template, which will give me a very good starting point to simulate the Cinestill 800T look. So the first thing, how this template works is go into replace one. So if I double click it, it will open the smart object. So here there's a couple of things that I've done already. So the first thing that you want to do is drag in your photo into this layer first. So let me find my photo. Let's say this photo as an example. So you'll take your photo and just put it all the way down here. So all these affect the photo. So I just put a couple of really basic parameters. So you can adjust your exposure if you need to adjust your exposure. There's the color balance, which gives me this kind of green kind of tint, like what the Cinestill 800T would give me. I think this is, maybe I can even push it a little bit. So anyway, so here is where you kind of just play around and get the color to where you want it to sit. Let's just leave it at this for now for this example. And then there's my curve, which I have bumped up and faded the blacks a little bit and just tamed the highlights just a little bit, just a very soft S-curve, so to speak. And then my final parameter is the vibrance parameter, which I just put it to 50 just to bring out a little bit of the colors in the photo. So let's say I'm happy with this setup for now. So let's just save it. So the smart layer can be applied. The smart object, sorry, can be applied. Let's go back to the original. So this is where we're at the moment. And once that's done, you go into replacement 2. Let's click it. And you drag and drop in the same photo again. And drag it down under this highlight masks. So what the highlight mask does is it basically just selects the highlights in the photo. And this whole area is basically to simulate the red halation that you see in the Cinestill 800T films. So let's go ahead and just select the highlights. Remember, the more that you go over here to the left, the more it selects basically everything. So we want to just isolate just the highlights in the image. So let's say, actually the car headlights might be a good area to just highlight. So I think it's these dots over here. So let's just say something like this for now. Let's go ahead and save the smart object. And remember, guys, you have to save the smart object, otherwise the effect won't be applied. So let's go back to the original, and there we go. See these red halations that you can see over here? You can actually see that this was before and this was after. And this folder over here, the halation layer, is basically just the layer where I created the red halation, and I can go ahead and pick the color if I want to again or whatsoever. If you guys see that the halation is not strong enough, you can actually go into the halation layers folder and then go on level, and then you can move this parameter over here so you can actually see that it becomes more intense. I mean, if it's super intense, it just looks like crap, but let's just say somewhere here. Let's just play around with this a little bit. So yeah, let's say something like this. Something like this, let's say. The thing with this template is sometimes it's a hit and miss. So you have to kind of be careful with this. So for example, this is not very realistic. It's just because these are highlights in the image. So you can actually see that it's doing something weird over here, which you guys can actually remove if you want to. So if you go back to replacement 2, you can see it's these weird things over here. So we want the headlights. I think that's nice. These little blips are pretty nice as well. So let's remove this, for example. So if you want to do that, you click the image, you click back your image, and then you just go to the rubber. So let's just remove these things. I think it's this guy here as well. And then we go ahead and save it. So this is basically the template that I created, and you guys can go ahead and mess around with it. I'm gonna drop this template in the links below so you guys can go ahead and download it. It's completely free for you guys to play around with it. let's back to square one. So let me go ahead and pick another photo. So for example, this photo here. Ooh. Yeah, I have to go into replace one and drag and drop it in there. Put it down here. So this is a little bit too green for me, so maybe I'll just bring it down a little bit like this. And then let's go to replace two. Same thing, we drag our photo in there, put the highlight mask on top of it. Then we can go to the highlight mask and just select just the highlights. I think it's doing a pretty good job, but let's just see what's happening here. And you know what, actually I'll just leave it like this for now. Let's go ahead and save it. Alright, so this is where it's sitting at the moment. Let me just go in here and just adjust this a little bit, just to dial down the redness, because it was a little crazy. So you can see there's some funky things happening over here, so maybe let's fix that. So let's go into replacement 2. Let's get tubes all nice and highlighted. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to highlight the tubes a little bit better so it doesn't have that weird blobby kind of effect. We can also see that all this over here is being selected as well, which is not going to be realistic. I think that's a little crazy, although these are coming out okay. It might be a little bit intense, which will adjust the intensity in a bit, but let's remove these things for now. Let's go in here, select the photo, the rubber. Okay, so it seems like all the tube lights are selected nicely, so let's just bring down the intensity because that doesn't really look that great. I also went on Unsplash to also get other people's work, so you can kind of see it in different context as well. Just for this test demonstration, let's just by the way, I didn't mention this guy over here, the film grain, which is basically a film grain layer. This film grain I found it free online, so I just kept it over there as a preset. So if you guys want to add a little bit of film grain, you can just go ahead and apply this. The overlay has been already applied, so if you need the film grain, just put that up. This photo is actually from Unsplash, so I'm just gonna play around with this photo over here and put it under all these parameters. So this is the original photo, and then with all this stuff added, then it looks a little bit like this. This actually looks pretty cool. I think the green might be a little bit too intense. So yeah, let's try out one last photo. The last photo is also from Unsplashed as well, so let's go ahead and import that. So basically, yeah, as I said, the template is in the description below, so if you guys want to play around with it, go ahead and download it. It's absolutely free. And yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. This was just a very quick tutorial. I could spend ages on this. Pretty much it, a really simple template. And of course, this is not supposed to get the Cinestill 800T look instantly, nor is it supposed to replace the film stock, but at least it gives like a nice starting point. So yeah guys, that's it for me today, and I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys like this video, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, keep on creating, keep on inspiring.